What's up, guys? Today we're taking a look at a really unique WDT. The WDT is the biggest dump trailer in the Diamond C lineup. When this job calls for lots of space, the need for hauling debris or things, the WDT is your go-to. It's rated anywhere from 25,000 to 30,000 on GVWR and anywhere from 16 foot long to 20 foot long. Specifically, what we've been being asked for though is content based on the 13 horse Honda gas motor with telescopic cylinder package. So we were able to snag this one after it went through production, pull it out here, and we're going to dive through it, show you what's unique about that particular option, but then what other options this trailer has and standard features. Before we get there though, I want to touch on the history of that particular option. So we rewind back to 2005, fall of 2005. Many of you remember the devastation caused by Hurricane Katrina at the time down in that New Orleans coastal area, and immediately the need for dump trailers went through the roof. You know, and scissor lifts at the time, the prevalent style of lifting mechanism, immediately became obsolete almost. Like all other manufacturers, especially the bigger ones than Diamond C at the time, soaked them up, and there were just none to be had. So my dad, Mike Crabb, at the time, you know, he knew we've got to be able to figure something out to be able to help these dealers who are calling us desperate for dump trailers to help in this cleanup effort. And he, in that process of thinking about what can we do, there is a manufacturer just north of Mount Pleasant that specializes in dump truck bodies and telescopic cylinders. And so he's able to work with them on some ideas he had to pair it, the cylinder, with a 13 horsepower Honda gas motor. That way we didn't have to depend on either the electric pump that the scissor lift trailers use or the scissor lift themselves, making a super reliable, very hardy setup for these guys in this cleanup effort. In that 1 year, about from that time frame, we built around 100 of these things, which was pretty monumental for us in that effort. You know, we were able to contribute to it, and those dealers were able to contribute as well. So it was the option's been around ever since that 2005 and stayed relatively the same. You know, through the evolution of the WDT, some things have kind of shifted, been kind of massaged, but the motor and actual telescopic cylinder setup is relatively unchanged. So now we're going to take a look at this one in particular. Here at the front we have the 13 horsepower Honda gas motor setup. What's really cool about it is it only uses the battery just to start the motor. Then at that point the motor is what drives the hydraulic fluid through the cylinder. Versus your straight electric setups like on your scissor lifts, the battery is responsible for providing that energy all the way through the dump cycle and potentially draining the battery. You know, you're always having to make sure your battery is completely charged, this, that, whereas the battery is only used on this setup just to start the motor. We still do have a charge line through the system to keep that battery trickle charged off the truck, and then we do, like on this one, we have the solar panel option on it as well. So the reliability is the key in this Honda gas motor setup. You hit the key, you hit the valve, and it's gonna dump. Next, from there, we flow into the telescopic cylinder setup. So just like on our LPT, the smaller dump trailer versus the scissors on those, it's the same principle applies, is that the telescopic cylinder mounted in the vertical position at the front of the trailer is the very most dumping leverage that you can have, versus a scissor lift being mounted up under the body and pushing from a disadvantage. When it's closed, it's having to get going that first however many inches, but at a major disadvantage up under the center of the body or a little forward of center, whereas the telescopic is in the upright position at the very front, and all it does is just start pushing. And I mean, if you look back in history, dump trucks, in dump trailers, they've used telescopic cylinders in this type of application for a long time. It's just super durable and strong and reliable and easy to service. All those things, you know, make this the ultimate setup. So now we're going to take a look at some of the other options and features that this WDT has. Starting with the wheels and tires and running gear. This one's outfitted with the 215 17.5 wheel and tire combination. That's a super heavy duty 16 ply tire, regroovable tread. It's a setup that will last whether you're on the job site or you do put a lot of miles on one. That's a great option for this WDT or any tandem dual trailer that Diamond C has. This option is available. We selected the hutch suspension on this one, which is a heavy-duty adjustable suspension, really made for a grueling work environment, right? The standard 10-12K suspension is not bad for the general use, but when in a trailer like this, when you know it's going to be tortured, you know, hauling off debris and in and out of areas that are rough terrain and just a lot of hard miles, the hutch suspension really stands out. They also selected the hydraulic disc brakes. This small box here houses your brake booster pump, which applies the pressure to your disc brakes. Disc brakes are great in that they do provide much better stopping power. You invest up front with disc brakes as far as the option. You invest up front, but then in return, the ongoing maintenance cost is less than your traditional electric drum brakes are. Right here you have a 42-inch underslung box that is meant for storage. It is just that. You're able to put your straps and chains and boomers and whatever you may need to get to and from the job site that to get the job done can be stored in here, locked out of the way. You'll see the frame from there, how big the frame is, and then it contours as you go back. It's kind of hard to see from where you're at, but the bottom frame actually comes up over the suspension. And what that is that WDT has the signature engineered beam frame technology that Diamond C developed about 5 years ago for our Tandem dual big flatbed gooseneck series. What it allows us to do is really have control over the framework of the trailer, the height of the frame, the thickness of the material, really putting the metal where it counts the most. Most other manufacturers, as we did for many years, they have to go buy just a standard mil-spec beam, whether that's a 12-inch beam or a 14-inch I-beam, and hack it up to make it work. And what you end up with is a heavy trailer because of that. And so with this, we're able to actually put the weight and the material where it counts the most. That design actually comes up the frame and is in the neck as well. You'll see the nice radiuses in the neck. This is engineered beam technology in the neck as well. This one has a solar panel up front on the top, and you'll notice it's in the really cool industrial cement gray color. You can jump on the website from there and build a WDT like this one and be able to outfit it however fits you best or what you need to do to get the job done.